Welcome back to my Formula 1 power rankings of the 2025 season. Yesterday we ranked the teams, now we will rank the drivers after the Austrian Grand Prix. And let's start with P20, which is Franco Colapinto, who stayed in P20 compared to last rankings. He's the only full-time driver without points on the grid now, although his pace compared to Gasly was solid again. He was not that far off. The collision with Tsunoda was also not his fault, but the lacking awareness and almost ending Piastri's race was very much his fault. There are rumors again that he will lose his seat, which is like a classic Flavio Briatore and Alpine situation. P19 I have Yuki Tsunoda. He lost 3 places compared to last rankings, and this is because he's getting worse every weekend. He gets unnecessary penalties, crashing while fighting for P15. He did not make any progress since he changed to Red Bull, and I also think his F1 career is in real danger right now, which would be the same for P18, which is Lance Stroll. Lost a place compared to last rankings, but since his dad is owning the team, he is of course clear. He had another performance completely under the radar. At least he didn't crash, which is a good weekend for him actually. He got his standard Q1 exit again, and his teammate in his mid-40s is crushing him right now every race on pace and results. P17 I have Oliver Behrman, who also lost 3 places compared to last rankings, and for him it's that in qualifying he's consistently faster than Ocon but loses out in the races. He's not lacking pace, but he's not having consistency and the race results, making too many small errors. He got another P11, but this it's the first place out of the championship points, so he needs to fix his results basically. Another driver who fixed his results is Gabriel Bortoleto, and because of this he climbs up 2 places in the rankings, now in P16. Got his first Q3 and his first points in the same weekend in Formula 1. He was still disappointed after the race because he was of the opinion that P6 was possible, and I think he was right, which shows that he's hungry for more. He's having a solid rookie season, I think, learning a lot, and with the improved car maybe he's also in the hunt for more points in the next races. P15 is Liam Lawson, who climbed 4 places compared to the last rankings, had a stunning performance and finally got the result he needed for his Formula 1 career. For me he was even the driver of the weekend, did not make any mistakes, showed an amazing qualifying after all the problems in the qualifyings he had before, brought it home in the race, was clearly faster than his teammate Isaac Hadjar, but now I think he needs more of these performances, more consistency, and then he's in a good place. In P14 we have Pierre Gasly, who had a strong qualifying but made a mistake in Q3, which cost not only him but also others the last qualifying lap. He gained a place compared to last rankings. He had a strong start but only went backwards after some laps and finally finished in P13. He said in an interview that he thought he had damage. But all in all I think it was a pretty solid performance in the end, and P13 and probably the slowest car is quite okay. P13 in my rankings is Carlos Sainz, was also there in the last rankings. He's a bit difficult to judge. He had maybe even damage in qualifying, but got P19, so a bad result. And then his brakes were on fire even at the end of the formation lap, after he couldn't even start the formation lap. Tough luck in the last few races for him, but I'm sure he will bounce back. Finally, he is a Grand Prix winner, so he will bounce back. But Williams need to sort out the issues they're having right now. P12 is Nico Hülkenberg, stayed there compared to last rankings. It made a lot of progress in the race from P20 to P9. And I asked myself what would have been possible with a better qualifying. He got his 3rd consecutive points finish. Has a bit of a quali weakness actually this year, which is so unusual for him because he's a great qualifier normally. And with this car, that he's inside the top 10 in the Drivers' Championship is quite impressive. P11 I have Lewis Hamilton, who stayed there also compared to last rankings. He did a solid job in qualifying and race with P4, seemed pretty relieved after the race, smiled a lot in his interview, and if he can work his Silverstone magic where he has a long podium streak, he will definitely come back into the top 10 soon. And starting the top 10 P10 is still Fernando Alonso compared to last rankings where he also was P10. He recently got a lot of points and got a lot of points again with P7, and after a rocky start to the season, right now he's carrying Aston Martin. He is on the same points as Stroll now, who performed in the chaos races at the beginning of the season, but also he is on a charge to finish in the top 10 in the championship rankings again. P9 is Kimi Antonelli, who lost a place compared to last rankings. He had a mediocre qualifying and did a big mistake on the opening lap and collecting Max Verstappen, and did a DNF for him and Verstappen. As a rookie, he is of course allowed to have these mistakes, even Verstappen said it in the interviews, but it shows a good character that he owns up to his mistakes. He will learn and he will without a doubt come back stronger. P8 is Esteban Ocon, and I have the same question for him as the last weekend, since he climbed one spot in the rankings. What could he do if he would actually qualify higher? Because he's executing his race strategies really good at the moment. Got another point for Haas and currently is P9 in the driver standings, where he shouldn't be with this car. But yeah, Esteban Ocon, learn how to qualify again and then you will be even further up the grid. P7 is Isaac Hadjar, stayed there compared to last rankings. Another quite unlucky weekend. He also said that he picked up damage at the last part of the race, but he was clearly slower than Liam Lawson for the first time actually this season. And he had a lot of bad races in the last couple of races and needs to bounce back pretty soon. Same goes for Alex Albon in P6, and there he was until he DNF'd, so I think the pace was there. He had a mechanical issue, so not his fault. And right now he almost has double the points than the driver behind him in the standings, but it could have been even more because he didn't score points in any of the last 3 races. Charles Leclerc is still in P5, got a front row start in the Ferrari, which is special these days, and maximized his result with P3. Was clearly faster than Hamilton again, but had no chance against the McLaren. For me, he is, if the McLarens will struggle in the upcoming races, the next in line to win a race this season. P4 George Russell lost a place compared to last rankings. He was pretty invisible this weekend due to the limitations of his car, but he picked up solid points again with P5 and now is only 9 points behind Verstappen in the championship and probably even in the faster car. Needs to understand his car, of course, more the team needs to understand, and then he is in the fight for P3 in the driver's standing. P3 right now in my rankings is Lando Norris, gained a place compared to last rankings, got the most dominant pole lap this season in Q3, which was a great answer after the Canada clash, handled the pressure pretty well in the fight with Piastri. He was under pressure pretty much the entire race, showed great racecraft with the switchback move when he got overtaken but fought back, and after a lot of issues this season he's still fully in this championship fight, which is quite remarkable. P2 I still have Max Verstappen, who got pretty unlucky this weekend. He could not set his second lap in Q3 because of the yellow flags, and his race basically ended after 2 corners. Crash was of course absolutely not his fault, but in the last weeks I have to say he showed a lot of empathy with the rookies, which suits him. I think it's a great sign of maturity, even if he's not showing the sign in other cases. And there's of course rain on the Silverstone forecast, and we all know what he's capable of in the rain, so Silverstone will be exciting. P1 Oscar Piastri of course stays there compared to the last rankings. Had a weak qualifying but also got screwed by the yellow flags like Verstappen, but I think even without the yellow flags he was not in the hunt for Norris, but he was behind Norris and on Norris the entire race, especially in the first stint. Showed some aggressive maneuvers, great racecraft for which he is known, and he even kept calm when Colapinto almost ended his race. And I have to say he only missed out by a bit for a win in a race on a track where his teammate was really good and is known to be really good, and for me is still clearly the number 1 contender for the championship. This was my driver rankings after Austria. We will rank the drivers and the teams of course again after Silverstone. I hope you enjoy the Silverstone weekend and see you guys next week.